Hello everyone, this is Chris Berry with Castle Wealth Group, and today we're going to talk about the 3 disability documents that every retiree needs to have. And if you like this information, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get updated whenever we provide more education like this.
Christopher Berry is a leading estate attorney and advisor in the area of retirement and legacy planning. He has been featured in publications such as Forbes, Kiplinger's, Crane's Detroit, and more. He's the host of the weekly radio show and podcast, The Chris Berry Show. He's a national thought leader as it relates to retirement and legacy planning, and has authored the Amazon best-selling book, The Caregiver's Legal Guide.
And so with that, what are the 3 disability documents? So in terms of retirement and legacy planning, one of the big things is planning for what happens if you pass away, and that's legacy planning. But the other issue is what happens if you don't pass away, you continue to age and you face all the issues that go along with aging. And more specifically, what happens if you were to have a stroke or you were to get a knock on your head and now someone needs to make decisions for you? Well, that's where these disability documents come into play. And there's 3 main disability documents that every retiree should have. And so the first one is what's called a financial power of attorney. And that's a document that appoints someone to make financial decisions if you're unable to. So if you were to get a knock on your head, who's going to pay your bills? A lot of times it might be a spouse first, and maybe adult children or some other loved one might be making those decisions for you. But it needs to be in writing, and that's called a financial power of attorney. Now, the second key document is what's called a medical power of attorney. In Michigan, we call this a patient advocate designation, and this is a document that appoints someone to make medical decisions if you're unable to. And included in that document would be what we call living will type language. So you might have heard of Terri Schiavo. She was a woman down in Florida. She was in a vegetative state. Her husband wanted to remove her from life support. Her family wanted her to remain on life support. And it became a big court battle that lasted over 8 years. Well, all of that could have been avoided had Terri Schiavo had this medical power of attorney, or in Michigan we call it a patient advocate designation, appointing her spouse to be able to make medical decisions. Because a lot of people assume that just because I'm married or I have adult-age children that I'm a parent of, I can make medical decisions for these people. But once you turn 18, legally you're an adult. And likewise, you don't necessarily have any legal authority to make decisions for a loved one or a spouse. It has to be in writing. And that's why it's so important to create these disability documents. And then the third key disability document is what's called a personal care plan. And this is a document that doesn't appoint someone to make medical decisions. It gives them instructions on how best to care for you if you were to need long-term care. So if your medical power of attorney appoints someone to make medical decisions and gives instructions with regards to end-of-life decision-making, your personal care plan document is a document that gives instructions with regards to long-term care. For example, would you want to be kept at home as long as possible? Would you want to attend religious services? Certain foods you like, certain foods you don't like, certain music you like to listen to, television programs. Maybe you want to go to church, maybe you want to see your family, maybe you don't want to see your family. But this personal care plan document, and we have a questionnaire we give our clients to help complete it, really gives instructions on how to navigate that long-term care journey. Because understand, we don't go from healthy to passing away. A lot of our clients go through this aging process. So if the medical power of attorney gives end-of-life decision-making, the personal care plan gives long-term care decision-making. So what are the 3 disability documents that you should have? A financial power of attorney, a medical power of attorney, and a personal care plan. So hopefully you found this educational. If you want to be reminded whenever we have more videos coming up, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This has been Chris Berry with Castle Wealth Group. Thank you.
Castle Wealth Group has clients across the nation and helps families plan, protect, and preserve what is important by creating a retirement and legacy blueprint.